Pisces, January 2020 sees angelic help restoring balancing in your life. Before I get stuck into the reading, okay, so you're probably going to be looking at this in the month of December, which for some of you traditionally is Christmas time, but obviously I know it's not that for all of you. Nonetheless, this is gift giving time. So what is coming up is there's a gift from me to you, and then we're going to exchange gifts because you're going to do something for me in return. So what I'm doing is, and this is a pretty big thing, definitely will not be doing this often. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for you guys. I have started doll making professionally. It has been a hobby and I have decided to go professional with it. So I have an Instagram page, I have an Etsy shop. They are both under the name Papillon Dollmaker. I will put it in the description box below. If you go to the Etsy page, the shop, if you go to my Instagram and you put a heart and you follow on Instagram and you go to the Etsy shop and you put a heart there, then I will give you a small free tea leaf personal reading. It's a big one, that one, because they're always a job to do regardless. As you can see, I have two cards for you, an oracle card for your relationships and a tarot card, and I made a cup of tea for you. The ritual is, or if you watch the videos, you know how this is done. I make a cup of tea, I drain off the liquid while thinking about your star sign and what can be ahead for you, and then we read the symbols that are left behind, see the story that they tell. They are just a way of the messages to come through for you. Right, let's discuss the cards first. You get the past life relationship card. On the card it says you have known each other before. What this tells me is in January you are dealing with past life relationship stories, situations or issues. Those of you looking for a new relationship, there's a pretty good chance that someone can turn up that you've had a past life relationship with. What this means is instant recognition, instant resonance, because you have a history. Of course, past life relationships also come with past life baggage, right? That's not always a bad thing. Sometimes the things that we've been through with one another is what makes that connection so strong. But you will realize, or you will recognize with this person an instant resonance because you have in other lifetimes had a deep relationship. I even want to say intense relationship, so there's a possibility as well there was an intense relationship in a past life with this person. Those of you in established relationships, you are dealing with situations that have arisen in past lives, so you may not even have a full conscious sort of understanding of what is rolling out and unfolding, but on a deeper level you do and will recognize these are old situations that are coming up, unfolding again, giving you a chance to work through them and sort of evolve and grow through them to the next level of relating with one another. The tarot card that comes up is the 11 of Fire. In this particular tarot deck, it's called Masculine Feminine. It's rather a lovely card. It has a very nice energetic feel. It is the balance. It's the balance I was talking about at the beginning of your reading. And I see a little angel in your teacup as I was thinking about that. So you're having help from other realms, possibly your guardian angels, most very likely your guardian angels, are helping to restore balance in your life. Now, masculine, feminine is the balance of thought, action, of being passive, of taking more of an active role. It's that kind of balance that gets struck for you in January, and I want to say into February as well, so that's quite likely the case. You're going to find that you are more passive when needs be and more forthcoming, and even, I don't want to say aggressive in a bad way, it's aggressive in just taking the initiative kind of way. You're going to find that balance in January. You're going to strike that balance in January. You're going to have help from other realms with this particular situation. The specifics of this are going to be very dependent on your own life story. But you will find as it unfolds, you will probably remember me having said this to you. And you'll see, aha, yeah. And you'll realize when the help comes in, you'll realize, oh yes, that's definitely a little bit of an outside helping hand coming in to help me restore the balance in my life. Let's have a look at your teacup now and see what. The first thing I'm going to speak about is those two little angels. I see them kneeling, which always means to me they are also helping, asking for angelic help. I see a little dragon, which is always about delusions, in the tea leaves. Okay, in other symbology, that the dragon can be very different, but in the tea leaves it speaks about delusion. Delusion's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it can just be we have a particular perception of something which is perhaps not entirely the way it is, and our little angels are down on their knees and saying, please help this person to see this clearly. And it's not always a huge thing either. It's just a case of looking at a thing and thinking, oh wow, okay, so that's actually how it is, and this is how I have been seeing it. They're little angels, and they're kneeling down, and I don't get any great, even the little dragon looks like a baby dragon. So this is not a huge life-altering thing, but it is something that you perhaps need to see a little bit differently, and you're going to get help with that in January. That's perhaps part of the balance that is restored. Because with that, I see a little tree, and I see a little horseshoe, and I see a little whale. So this brings about a change in your luck for the better. You realize perhaps that you've been worrying greatly over something which you necessarily not need have, and it muddled your thinking. So that's really, I think, what it's about. There comes the message. So you perceived something in a particular way. It muddled your thinking. It got you really worried about it. Your angels step in and ask for help to let you see this a little bit more clearly, and you do. And that is when the luck changes, when it gets a little bit better. And then I see a little duck carrying a little flag that is like the finishing line. That is so cute. So what happens then is that you actually get to the finishing line. You move through those emotions. I always associate ducks with water. So for me, I would say then what I see is you shift through these emotions and you get to that finishing line. Because to get to that finishing line is just getting past that one little illusion or delusion, or just a perception that's not quite right. But your angels help you to see this differently, and that's when your luck definitely changes. I see a heart as well. So, and I see a little bird perched. So some of you could be waiting for news on romantic matters. Let's see what's around that to give you what this indication. There's a tulip and another heart. So if some of you have been waiting for news, and I see another heart, where this is concerned, you could find that it becomes more passionate and more intense. And I see an upward arrow then. So the trajectory, the road to success, where this particular relationship is concerned, it starts making great forward movement. It starts getting more passion involved there. Okay, so that's very interesting. That's going to apply to some of you. You'll know who that is. Right now, I'm looking to see if there's any more messages in here for you. You'll hear my hand banging against the cup. I see an elephant. That means there is some kind of journey that happens for you. It's either an emotional or a physical journey, but some kind of journey. I see a heart here, which tells me it's an emotional journey. An emotional journey, and I see two halves. Maybe a feeling of separateness, a feeling of not making connection. But by the end of this journey of January, and remember we have eclipses, you will find that those two halves can join as one again. There's bits and pieces around it, so it's almost as if the bits and pieces have to come around, and right at the top is a little bird waiting for it to happen. And that little bird is in the shape of a heart as well. So it's a case of perhaps scattered feelings, scattered things, scattered situations needing to come together in January, and finally they do. But it takes a bit of time. There's a bit of a journey involved. I then see a flag again. A flag can also be, especially if it's just a single flag like this on its own, about not settling for less. It's about wanting something in particular and waiting for that to come to you. I see a butterfly as I discuss that. So there will be a change for the better. So don't settle for less in the meantime, because a change for the better is definitely coming for you. Right, so those are the main messages coming for you. I would actually suggest you listen to this video again several times through January, because as the situations unfold, the reading will have more meaning to you and will probably give you some clarity and guidance along the way. I hope that you enjoyed that reading. If you would like any of those readings I offered at the beginning, the personal, private, soulmate, or subscription to weekly updates for your star sign, please contact me via the links in the description box below. That is via the website. I want to thank you for watching, listening, commenting, liking, subscribing, and for those of you that share this video, I truly appreciate it. Those of you that comment, I read every single comment. Thank you very much.